Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again. This is Brent Crawley with Brent and Friends, Nonsense and Trends, and today we're going to talk about COVID-19 and how it just killed seminars. If you're doing seminars or if you're ever someone who's done seminars, you're going to want to listen. Talk to you soon. Hey everybody, thanks for joining again. This is Brent Crawley with Brent and Friends, Nonsense and Trends, co-founder and president of the Premier Agency and the Turning 65 advisor here in Peoria, Arizona. And today we're going to be talking about how COVID killed seminars. And I got to tell you, it really kind of did, but not completely. There's a lot of people in our business right now, if you're in sales in any way, but primarily people in our business who are doing a lot of seminar presentations in the insurance market, a lot of people who do seminars for financial services, financial products, a lot of people who do seminars for Medicare supplements, long-term care insurance, or any area of insurance. Anybody who's done educational group presentations is feeling it. They're feeling the hurt right now. And I've seen a lot of different agencies scrambling, a lot of producers scrambling to try to figure out how they're going to recover to the COVID-19 pandemic and how they're going to get back on their feet as far as being able to present to the masses. And there are a lot of people who are doing it right, a lot of people who are doing it wrong, and then a lot of people who are kind of in between. I always say, I've said many, many times that not only everybody's heard it takes money to make money, but it also takes spending money to figure out what works. And on the cuffs of that, what's important is rather than you spending money to figure out what works, it's really more of a process of spending money to figure out what doesn't work. And then you go through the process of eliminating the things that didn't work when you spend your money. And that can be a really grueling process for a lot of people because people don't necessarily have the money to spend only to figure out what didn't work. And then in turn, they got to go spend more money to do what did work because they've now figured out what doesn't. So this is becoming a problem for a lot of producers in my business. And like I said, there are people who are doing it mostly right. And so I'm here to lend you guys a few key points that I think is really important for you to lean on when it comes to reaching your clients in a safe environment, in a safe atmosphere. The obvious one, point number one, the obvious one is you need to be using some sort of online presentation platform, whether it be GoToMeetings, whether it be Zoom, whether it be Google Meets, Hangouts, whatever it is. There needs to be some sort of online platform that you have set up, that you have subscribed to. It might cost you a little bit. Oh well, big deal. It could cost you, a few $100s a year to have access to this platform, but this is where clients are still going to be able to interact with you face to face, even though they're not there with you present. So this is something that I really highly encourage all of you to do. Don't try to do this over the phone. We're going from an environment where people are used to seeing your faces and they're not really able to do that anymore. So my biggest piece of advice is don't think that you can just make the transition to just doing phone sales. There are going to be those cases where people are not high tech and they don't know how to get on that meeting, or they don't have the technology to get on that meeting, or they don't want to download the app on their phone and they maybe don't have a computer. So there's going to be those one-off cases where you're going to probably conduct all of your business over the phone. And I normally don't like doing that because I like having that tangible relationship with my clients. So if I can avoid that, I'm jumping on an online presentation platform like Zoom, GoToMeetings, the Ring Central meeting program, which is the one that we use, which is powered by Zoom. So those are great. Those are a great tool. They're all pretty much the same, guys. There's not really one that's inherently better than the other, okay? So that's point number one. Use an online presentation tool. The other thing is understanding your marketing. Your clients or your future clients, they don't want to be going into a situation where they feel like it's a sales presentation. So understand the content that you want to get out there when you're doing your marketing, understanding the content that knowing your audience. So having a good plan in place as far as letting your clients know that you're there for an educational point of view, that they're not going to be sold. Guys, these people are inundated every single day with different ads in the mail, with different, points of contact online, Facebook. You guys, these people don't know. They really don't know what they should click on, what they should engage in. What is going to set you apart is most of the time going to be you presenting yourself from someone who is an advisor that's going to educate them, but that's easier said than done. So some things that you're probably going to want to avoid during that process is talking about different insurance products. You want to kind of avoid talking about, hey, we're going to tell you why this product is so great. Rather, you'll want to lean into the idea that there are multiple different types of products or vehicles that are available. We want to help you dissect and break those down. It's really not a one shoe size fits all. Please come. With that being said, that's point number 2. But point number 2 doesn't really work if people can't solidify or validate who you say you are online. This is where point number 3, your online presence, is really, really important. You need to have content on your social media outlets, your Facebooks, your Twitter, whatever it might be. You need to have content available on there supporting the things that they're seeing when you're dropping an advertisement on them. Because if you're just dropping an advertisement on them, but they're not able to validate who you are by Googling your name, those kinds of things, we're starting to get into some expensive stuff, because now we're talking about SEO and we're talking about Facebook and dropping content on there. And it doesn't really have to look great, but it really shouldn't look like it stinks, right? These people want to know that they can trust in the person that is advertising to them. So a little bit of a backstory. I had a client of mine before seminars got shut down. I had a client of mine who attended a seminar, and she filled out a permission to contact form at the seminar, and then she met with me at my office the next week. And when she sat down with me at my office, I was talking to her about some of the resources that are available on my website. And she had said, oh, don't worry, I was on your website a long time ago. And she had said, so when I got your advertisement in the mail for your seminar, I know that I never do business with anybody unless I know that I can validate that they are who they say they are and that they have good, useful information for me. So before I even went to your seminar, I went online, I Googled your name, and your website popped up. I went to your website, I tore through your website, everything on there seemed great. I went to your Facebook, everything on there seemed great. I wouldn't have even gone to your seminar if I hadn't seen that stuff. And so this just goes ahead and solidifies what I'm saying, that you're going to have a lot of clients that are going to want to look at you from multiple different angles. See, they have the ability to do that, guys, because when you get someone at a seminar and they're meeting you and seeing you for the first time, there's that point where you're in person and there is a little bit of pressure for them to maybe make a decision to do business with you right then and there. And while we don't strive for our clients to be in that situation, we do understand that that is a reality, that when you're sitting down with a client, you have a lot of information, you've posed a lot of information, they might think it's good stuff, right? They might really like the information that you are presenting to them, and they think that you're a good person. They like your presentation, they like who you are, they like the sound of your voice, whatever it might be. So they may decide to do business with you right then and there. It's very different when you have someone that's maybe going to your online seminar and they don't have to do business with you right there. They can just log off. They didn't fill out a permission to contact. You can't chase them out the door. You can't, oh, but wait, let me ask you another question. Nope, they just click, they sign off, and then they're gone. And now you have no way of contacting them. So it's important that you have all these backup areas of reference to make sure that these people are able to validate that you are who you say you are and that you're legit, you're worthwhile doing business with. They're not going to come to your seminar and do business with you likely if you don't have a Facebook page that they can go check out, if you don't have a website that they can go check out. So if you don't have those things, you really should invest in those things, especially in the times that we're in now. My agency actually will help you. We'll help you set those things up, but that's not what this is about. So that's one of the other points that you need to make sure that you jump on, is having those other resources available for your clients to fact check that you are who you say you are. Okay, the other thing is, and this is, in my opinion, this is probably going to be one of the most important features, is that most of the people in our business think that all you have to do is get someone to a seminar online. But what they're failing to realize is getting that person to that seminar is extremely, extremely hard when it's a virtual seminar, because you have to put some sort of advertisement in front of that person. That person has to then navigate away to your website. They have to find the reservation tool on your website. They have to reserve their spot. They have to put in their email address. And frankly, if you're in my line of business, a lot of people who are retired and on Medicare, they check their email, but maybe not as often as someone like you and me. Like, we're checking our emails multiple times a day, especially because business is important. So I'm checking my emails 100 times an hour, right? But they're not. Most of those people are checking their emails a couple times a week. And so they're getting the reservation link being emailed to them. They might not see it. And then they have to be available on the day that your meeting happens, or they're not going to make it. They're going to get an email reminding them that your meeting is that day, that they registered for it. And getting them to register for that meeting is hard enough anyways, because statistically speaking, and this is no lie, is that you have to impress upon that person 5-6 times before you're going to get that person to actually RSVP for one of your meetings. So getting them to take that first step in RSVPing for a meeting is hard enough as it is. So how do we get them to actually RSVP for that meeting? Well, most people, from what I've learned, are doing that whole process wrong. The process of impressing upon somebody through an advertisement just to get them to go to one of your meetings, not going to work most of the time. It's not going to work. What needs to happen is that person needs to get into your funnel system where they are being impressed upon multiple times by you. There are many different ways that you can do this, but rather than encouraging that person through one of your ads in whatever, rather than encouraging that person to then click on a box or an ad that then pulls them away from Facebook or pulls them away from Google and it takes them to your website, a lot of times that frustrates people in the very beginning. Right out the gate, it's going to bother them. So rather than that, you'll want to give someone like a widget where they can put in their email address, where they can be opting in to some of your newsletters that you're going to be sending out on a regular basis. Or let's say they're on Facebook. And instead of you saying, hey, Facebook users, go register for one of our meetings, when statistically speaking, when someone gets brought away from the page that they were previously on to the page that you want them to register on, even if it's still on Facebook, statistically speaking, they're going to go to that page, but then they're going to browse the page and they're not going to pull the trigger on actually reserving. And then you have to drop ads to that person again. You have to spend money again just to get in front of that person again, so that you can hope that they might eventually reserve a spot for the meeting. And then are they even going to make it there, right? So this is where the whole thing falls apart. This is why most agents in our business that are doing online meetings aren't getting any attendance. So instead, what you should do is get them into your impression funnel. And again, this is kind of going back to what I had said in the first couple of points, is that if this person can't validate who you say you are, they're probably not going to do business with you anyways. So instead of expecting your one advertisement that you send to that person, instead of expecting that one advertisement to do its job and to get that person away from the page they were on to the page they were on, where then they reserve their spot and then they check their email frequently and then they actually make it to your meeting, instead, ask them to like your Facebook page. That's it, because all it takes is a click. Say, hey, like our Facebook page. If you like this content, post a video with some good educational information, and then say, hey, if you like this video, then please like our Facebook page. Click, bink, and that's really all it takes. It takes just a second for them to click. And they're not committing to a sales meeting. They're not committing to any process. They're just saying, yeah, I like your content. I think you seem like a nice guy. I'm going to like your page. There's not a lot in it for them to commit to. Or they might say, yeah, I like this content. If you have more of this content, I'm cool with you sending it to me. Here's my email address. So then they type in their email address and they are getting into your impression funnel. Now, if you're a client and you're listening to this, don't let this scare you, because this is merely you giving someone like me permission to say, hey, I have more educational information I'd like to give you, because the honest truth is I really don't anticipate you're going to do business with me because you liked one ad that I posted. right? You're going to want to know more about me. You're going to want to know more about what I offer before you decide that I'm the right fit for you, your finances, and your insurance and your family's protection. Okay, especially when it comes to health and things like that. So by you saying, hey, I'm gonna like your Facebook page, that's saying, hey, when I post really helpful information on Facebook, you're gonna see it. So for those of you who are agents in this business, don't bombard these people with ads. If you are gonna get someone with an ad, ads are reasonable, but then ask them to become a participant in some of the information that you're further gonna post. If you're not willing to do that, then you're kind of being lazy. You need to be posting content really regularly on your Facebook and on your website, on blog systems that you think is going to be useful and helpful for your clients. When you get them to subscribe to that blog or subscribe to your email thread or subscribe to your or like your Facebook page, they're now telling you that they're okay with you dropping content on them regularly because they like the content that you that you posted the first time, so they're going to subscribe to it moving forward. And again, remember, the statistics are you have to impress upon someone 7, 8, 9, 10 times before that person is going to actually decide that they even want to register for an event that you're going to have, or that before they're going to decide they even want to do business with you. So instead of anticipating that people are foolish enough to get your ad one time and then take all those steps that they need to take to go to your online meeting, because it takes a totally different personality perspective or thought process perspective to go to someone's online meeting. Going out to your in-person seminar where they're going to get a free pie or a free lunch, that's fun for them. They might really not be interested in doing business with you, but they're going to get out. And it's fun to get out, especially if someone else is paying the bill. You want someone to actually take time throughout their day to go log onto their computer and attend a presentation? That kind of stuff is not fun, guys. So don't think that people are so naive that they're just going to attend your meeting because you dropped content on them one time through an ad and that they're going to get there, they're going to register, they're going to show up, and they're going to buy insurance from you. People are not that silly. It doesn't work very well. So if you can then get them into your funnel where you're dropping helpful, useful tools and tips to them a couple of times a week, maybe once a week or twice a week on Facebook, once a week or twice a week via email. They're reading your blogs. Once they start seeing the information that they subscribed to, right? Because that wasn't that big of an ask, was for them to subscribe. And once they start seeing that information, they'll start to develop trust in you. And then once you start saying, hey, my new ad or my new Facebook post or my new blog is going to be about the seminars I'm doing, that person then might say, I actually think I want to go to her seminar or his seminar because I'm seeing the stuff that he or she is doing on a regular basis and I'd like to partake. You have to understand that this system works completely differently. Again, based on just the statistics, you need to be impressing upon someone for 5, 6, 7 weeks in order for them to invest in your system. So that's going to take time. The turnaround is not nearly as quick on this, guys, but we are living and operating our business in a completely different time. COVID-19 really kind of killed seminars as we knew it in 2019. It is a completely different era. And things might eventually sort of start creeping back to the way they were, or things might kind of stay here and people will start becoming more willing to just jump on a seminar when they don't really know much about you. They might become more willing to over time, but that's going to take a long time, guys. It's going to take a while. So in the meantime, be willing to actually go the long haul, to educate people, and to do things not the short way. If you want to get people on your seminar and on your meetings that are virtual and that are online, if you want to get them on there, and you don't want to take the time and do things the long way and do things the hardworking way by posting a lot of contents and getting them in your funnel, you just want to drop an ad on them and expect them there, plan on spending a lot of money. And if you don't have that lot of money, which most people in this environment right now, they don't have tens and tens of thousands of dollars to just drop on these things. So if you don't have those tens and tens of thousands of dollars, if you don't have a budget of 50, 60 grand to get 10, 15, 20 people at a meeting, you're gonna have to do it the right way. And the right way is impressing upon people in a gentle way, getting them into your funnel system, and then making sure that they're getting your content on a regular basis that's helpful, educational, and that they understand. Through that process, then, and almost only then, unless you've got a deep pockets, only then will you be able to start seeing a high turnaround on the people that are coming to your seminars. With the exception of, let's say if you're in our business, AEP, annual enrollment period. During annual enrollment period, you've got lots of insurance companies dropping lots of money, doing lots of advertising, and most of the clients in our business know they only have a certain time of the year to make changes to their insurance. So a lot of those people know that they kind of have to jump on something right now, and they might be more willing to jump on a virtual meeting without you impressing upon them multiple times throughout the process that I've discussed. But outside of that, if you really want people to show up, you need to show up first. You need to show them that you're a professional and you know your stuff, and that you're impressing upon them in multiple different ways, and it's useful and helpful to them. So COVID did kill seminars, but it's really not, it's not like it seems. We still have the ability to do presentations. We just have to go about it the right way. The reason why you haven't been getting people showing up to your meetings is because you haven't been going about it the right way. There's a couple helpful and useful tips. I really hope it provides value for you. Please let me know if there's any other advice that I can give you. We're helping our agents every single day understand how to perfect this system, and we're even learning. We're learning every single day on different things. I have a conference call literally tomorrow with someone who's going to help show me a couple of new things. I hope to share that information with you later. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Brent and Friends, Nonsense and Trends. Have an awesome day.